Guys, I know you're very important, but can you all sit down on the ground, please? Would you all sit down in the flight line? Sit on the ground. You're probably okay where you are. Just sit down. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Ladies, gentlemen, and children, can everybody who's beyond the flight line please sit down on the ground? Thank you so much. And everybody can see. Ladies, gentlemen and children, probably the most expensive aeroplane at the show here today. This aeroplane has taken every second of a chap for 2 years to build it. Philip Clark, his name is. Being flown by Ali out there, look, with his... who's seconding you, Ali? Who's with you? Where's David? Who's with you? Peter? Peter? Can we have a form, please? DB sound form up here from the office. Thank you. Thanks. A DB sound form from the office, please. They got them in the office there. Plain one. Ready? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Rolling now. That lovely sound of those multiple cylinders there. 7 of them. I'll correct that. I'll make it 5 cylinders. This is what we call a Machinchy 400cc engine on it. And it's a radial engine, of course. The Douglas Skyraider. Considered to be rightly one of the greatest combat aircraft ever. Designed during World War II, this aeroplane is a replacement for the Douglas Sky Bomber. But here it is now. Scout here. Businessman of Al's hobbies, of course, director. And this one here, 3 years in building. I said 2, I was wrong, it's 3 years in building. It's got 16 hard points on the wings for bombs, weapons. Useful aeroplane. Uses 3 litres of fuel in 16 minutes, this aeroplane. 160 inches wingspan. And some beautiful beast, isn't it, there? Special undercarriage imported from America. Custom built in the USA. You look on there, it's an amazing show-stopping aeroplane, fully in the business of its wartime rig. Made by the Americans for Korean use, first of all, really, in this scheme. 40-inch carbon propeller using on it, 3-bladed. And that is something else, isn't it? As I say, you could be a farmer. The power of that engine, you can sort of feel it, can't you, there? It really is just incredible. The cost of this amazing aeroplane that's flying and stopping the show at the moment, just £25,000. Prototype of this aeroplane first flew on the 19th of March 1945, and it became in 1946 February the 81 Skyraider. There's the bombs which go along. They always does he get a clap for that, everybody? That was a bit of a special thing, wasn't it? I mean, lad is so laid back. I mean, if I was, you know, you can't dream of how it's a gift, isn't it? It's a God-given gift, this, to fly like this.
suppose you want one of them, don't you?
Used on aircraft carriers, this. Carrier trials carried out in 1946. And it entered US Navy frontline service in December of that year. 22 variants of this aircraft, by the way. Production continued for 12 years. When 3,180 of those have been made and delivered to the American Navy.
Did a good job.
Some aeroplane, eh? Now, Korea is often thought of, you know, in 1950 there, thought of as a jet war. It wasn't at all. The Skyraider, this aeroplane, believe it or not, had a 10-hour loiter time over its targets. That's what made it such a beast of a wonderful weapon carrying capacity thing. As I said, it had 16 hard points for what they call stores on it. Such a clever beast it was. And then it had an AD2 version of it, increased fuel, a more powerful engine, and then even the AD3 with a revised canopy, improved propeller and landing gear on it. It has to be very strong to land on that aircraft carrier. Imagine it's going up and down, pitching in the sea and travelling forward, of course. And they had the very powerful 2,700 horsepower R3350 engine, greatly increased the load carrying capacity of it. And the AD4 version of it was a 3-seat airborne early warning variant, and that was used by the Royal Navy Fleet Air Arm, British people. The AD5 was a 4-seat multi-role version too as well, so it was even then strengthened to carry more and more equipment and more ordnance as well. And it could operate at weights right up to 25,000 pounds. It's unbelievable, isn't it, when you think about it? The AD6 was a much improved single-seat attack version, whilst the AD7 had a 3,050 horsepower engine. What about that flyby? Even more reinforcement on the other carriage. And wings, of course. An incredible aeroplane without a doubt, this thing. Wingspan 50 feet and a quarter inches. The length was 38 feet. Performance 322 miles an hour. It could get up to 28,500 feet. Some aeroplane, that ain't. As well as Britain and France, Skyraiders were also supplied to Chad, and they used them in combat right up to the 1970s. And the aircraft that had entered service with piston engine warplanes was considered by some to be obsolescent. Well, therefore this one carried on flighting more of a quarter of a century later. Alright? 4-point roll. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? He really does. Makes it look so easy.
Just going over the top again, Ron.
Some aeroplane. 15 servos fitted in this. You can follow the full build of this aeroplane there on the RCMF website. That's www.rcmf.co.uk, alright, or the YT International stand. Thank you very much for telling me that. So if you want to see this marvellous 3-year project here, I mean, that is something else, isn't it? When you see Ali out there, you know, he's such a nice, relaxed, laid-back guy with a God-given gift, he really has. And this is the pleasure that he can bring to some air shows, and we're delighted to have him here with us today. And I hope, Ali, you can find the time to come to us at Hot Farm. We'd love to see you there, please. We'd love that. Are we on finals? Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise when this lands, eh? Because this has been a showstopper of some aeroplanes, some pilot, some talent. Really, really marvellous. On the dot of 3 o'clock. Look at that. Imagine you're an aircraft carrier now. Look at that. Here she comes. Are you ready? Ali Machinchy and the Douglas Skyraider, ladies and gentlemen. Take a bow, Ali. Thank you, sir. Some plane, some aeroplane, some pilot, some